Hey everyone, it's Rock DIY. Today I'm going to cover how to do a repair on mirror glass tabs. If you've ever been in a situation where you've had to remove the glass from your side view mirrors and in the process you broke the tabs off, here's a method. It's not a fix-all, but it is a method you could use to fix your mirrors. This process was done on a 2010 Ford F-150 Platinum, but this process will work with any number of vehicles because most mirrors are very similar. The key to doing this repair the right way is to make sure the work area is clean and that you abrade any areas that are going to come into contact, and then also use a really good adhesive. This is the passenger side mirror with the motor on it, and I don't have it all the way in just because I don't want to lock it in right now due to the possibility of breaking tabs off. And I've seen a lot of videos where people say the way to remove the mirror from the motor is to put a screwdriver in under here and pop it off. The issue that I see with that is twofold, because the surface of the mount to the mirror is flat, and also underneath the tab is flat. So if you're putting a screwdriver in here to pop it off, that's two flat surfaces going against each other. And secondly, these tabs are not user friendly or meant to be constantly moved, so there's a high likelihood that once you lift up underneath this tab right here, you're going to break these plastic tabs off. And once you break them off, hopefully you don't break them all off, and hopefully you retain enough that it keeps your mirror on. But if you break these tabs off, you're either going to have to come up with a way to fix it, or you're going to end up having to buy an all new mirror. There's got to be an easier way to pull these tabs back with a tool so that this will pop out. The bigger problem is there's two tabs. Well, there's a total of 8, but you got to get 4 of them released in order to remove the mirror from the motor. Rather than paying $257 for a new mirror, and it's $257 just for this piece, because this has auto dimming, heat, and power fold, and you can't just buy this plastic piece. You gotta buy the plastic with the mirror, and it costs around $257. So rather than do that, I'm going to replace the tabs, and the way that I'm going to do it is by making new ones that I'll glue to the outside right here that'll go over the broken piece to still hold the mirror in place. And I'm going to do that using zip ties. I just got to cut it so that it is similar to the tabs on the mirror, and I'll show how to do that. And you want to cut the zip tie, maximizing the use of the piece here as much as possible. So I'll be cutting it here and here, which will give me this whole entire piece right here to work with. What I've cut off is this portion right here. So I cut on this side and this side to separate it from the rest of the zip tie. And this is what I'll be using to make a tab for the mirror. Here's my little tab that I just made from another zip tie. You'll have to constantly shave some pieces off just to get it close to what it needs to look like. And I said earlier that this is where one of the tabs was, and because it broke so far down, I'm not going to use this spot. There's another tab or another piece that I can use right here to get more surface area for my homemade tab to be glued to. So I'm just going to put it there. On the tabs that are on already part of the mirror, you'll notice that the top portion of it is ramped down, and that's what allows the mirror to slide onto the motor housing. If you leave it flat, it's going to make it pretty hard for the mirror to snap in place. So when you make your own tab, you got to make sure you put this little ramp on here so that it can slide in and snap in place. If you leave it square, you're probably just going to snap it right off. I already cleaned this spot that I'm going to attach my own tab to, and I used the X-Acto knife to abrade it to give it a better surface to adhere to when I put the glue on it. And one other thing you want to make sure you do is when you make your tooth, find one that I can focus on. So there's one right here, and since this tab is actually sitting on top, and when you make your tooth, you're going to have to make it so it sits from the back side. So this tooth that extends out is going to have to be a little bit longer. So, like right here, because I'm putting it back here, my tooth is going to have to extend past this piece. And you want to look at another tooth just to make sure that it's about the same length out. Make it too long or too short, may not hold the mirror in, or you may not be able to get the mirror into the housing. I'm not endorsing, but I'm using this DAP Rapid Fuse, which seems to work pretty good with this, unlike some of the other super glues out there. It adheres pretty well.